The rain's been coming down for hours. Your street's starting to flood. And you realize right now you don't have a plan. If you're watching this while the water's rising, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact things to do right now to keep your family safe. Plus one mistake that gets people killed every single time this happens. I'm a Marine who's been through flash floods. People wait 5 more minutes. Some of them don't make it out. There are times when you get one of those storms that comes from out of nowhere. Road looks fine. Then you come around the corner and there is water across both lanes. No way to tell how deep. You stop, put the vehicle in park, and wait. Guy in a sedan comes up behind you. Doesn't stop. Just goes around you into the water. He makes it about halfway. Then his car just stops moving forward. You can see the current pushing against the door. The nose dips. Water starts coming in through the bottom of the doors. He got out. Had to push hard to get the door open against the water. Wades to the side of the road. Left his car sitting there. By the time you turned around and found another route, his car was completely submerged, roof and all. That's what 6 inches of moving water do. It doesn't look dangerous, but it'll take your car, and if you're still in it, it'll take you too. 3 years ago, we were camped on the Llano River in the hill country, far enough out of town that we had no cell service. The weather radio was our only source of up-to-date information. That's why I had it on before sunup. Then I heard it. Not the tone, the actual voice. Flash flood warning. Seek higher ground immediately. I had that radio in my go bag, right where I could reach it quickly. Heard that sentence, and I was packing the truck. No coffee, no breakfast, just move. You could hear the change before you saw it. Water sounded different, heavier, angrier. Branches and everything else from upstream that wasn't secured was coming downstream. That wasn't the case 30 minutes before. We loaded up. No dad cooking breakfast or mom relaxing, waiting for food. It was time to go. Even our kid knew that. Unfortunately, not everyone in the hill country that weekend knew. They had no idea what was about to happen. To some, this was just another rainy morning. In that part of Texas, 6.5 inches of rain fell in 3 hours that day. The river was rising fast. There were gravel bars in the river, areas of dry land here and there that water didn't cover but instead flowed around. That's how things looked the day before anyway. That morning, if I hadn't seen them with my own eyes before I went to bed, you wouldn't have been able to convince me that they had ever existed. By afternoon, that whole site was underwater. The difference between walking away safe and becoming a statistic comes down to what you do in the next few hours. Some of these things you can still do even if the water's already on your street. And one of them most people never think about until it's way too late. I watched the water change color on the Llano that morning. Brown turned to rust, then rust turned to red clay. That's sediment. That's topsoil. That's ranch land washing downstream. When you see red water in Texas, it's not raining anymore. You're watching a flood. Here's what most people don't know. The flood doesn't announce itself. The ground just stops absorbing. The water starts moving, and by the time you notice, the roads are already deciding for you. So, you do this right now. Pull up the weather on your phone. Local news, radio, internet, whatever loads fastest. You need one answer. How long is the rain lasting? If it's not stopping soon, the water's not stopping either. Next, check road closures. Find out which intersections are already underwater, which routes are blocked. Write them down if you have to. Those are the roads you're not taking. And here's the part people skip. Decide where you're going if you have to leave. Not maybe we'll figure it out. No, pick a place on higher ground. You can make sure that the roads are still open. This is reconnaissance. You're gathering information, so you can move fast when it's time. Quick check. Do you know right now which roads in your area flood first? If not, pull up a map after this video. Seriously, because that information decides your route out. Marines don't wait for perfect information. You make the call based on what you know. And in a flood, what you know changes every hour. I have a backpack staged by my door. Documents, cash, phone charger, first aid. It sits there for months without moving. Then one night the power flickers. Wind starts pulling at the roof. Look out the window and the street's already running like a creek. I can grab that bag in 3 seconds. Don't have to think. Didn't have to hunt for anything. That's what staging does. It buys you time when you don't have any left. So, before this storm gets worse, you can do this. Pack a small bag. Birth certificate, insurance papers, medication, cash, charger, flashlight. Put it by your door. Not in a closet, not in the garage, by the door you're walking out of. Because knowing where to go doesn't mean anything if you're not ready to move. Weather radio going off at 6 a.m. Sharp burst of static. Then the robotic voice. Flash flood warning. Seek higher ground immediately. First thing I did, grab my boots. Second thing, I checked the Llano River. Water was already climbing the bank faster than I'd ever seen it move. That's when I knew, if you're not ready to go, you're too late. Water at your ankles. Power's out. You've got maybe 60 seconds before you're moving to the second floor or out the front door. What are you bringing? If your answer is, I don't know, you're already in trouble. Rain forecast jumped from 3 inches to 8, then 12. Weather radio went off twice in 20 minutes. Looked outside. Street drains are already backing up. Water creeping across the curb. That's when you grab the backpack. Hand on the strap, car keys in the other hand, deciding whether to stay or go. That's the moment. You don't want to be making that decision for the first time when you can already hear water under the door. Build a grab and go kit right now. Not some massive bug out bag with tactical gear and freeze-dried meals for a month. A backpack. One backpack. Small enough to carry, light enough to run with if you have to. Start with an extra set of clothes. Pants, shirt, socks, another pair of shoes. Wet clothing is miserable. You don't want to sit in soaked jeans for 6 hours waiting for rescue. Put the clothes in a Ziploc. Squeeze the air out. Seal it tight. Next, medications. If you take daily meds, grab an extra week's worth and put them in a Ziploc. If you can only grab one thing on your way out the door, this is it. Not your phone, not your wallet, your medications. Then add a phone charger, Ziploc bag, a flashlight, water bottle. Fill it with clean water as soon as you know flooding is possible, not right before you have to go. And throw in some shelf-stable snacks, granola bars, trails mix, whatever you've got that won't spoil. The goal is simple. If you have to leave with nothing else, you can survive short-term with what's in the bag. Packing the kit is only half the job. Where you put it is what actually saves you. Put it by the door you're going to use if you have to leave the house. Not in the garage, not in the closet, not upstairs, by the door. When you're making 60-second decisions, you're not thinking clearly. You're not going to remember where you stashed it 3 months ago. Stage it now. One backpack, one location, zero hesitation when the moment comes. In the next 30 minutes, you go from hoping you remember what to grab to knowing it's already packed and waiting. No scrambling, no panic, just grab and go. Now are you looking out the window at the water rising in the street? You know what kills people in floods? It's not the water. It's the 30 seconds they waste looking for their car keys. When flooding is forecast in your area, not when the water is at your door, when it's still 48 hours out, you need to stage your evacuation supplies. And I don't mean put them someplace safe. I mean positioning them like you're planning a tactical withdrawal. Here's how to do it. First, check the backpack with the non-negotiables. Extra set of clothes, another pair of shoes, because wet clothing sucks long term. All medications in Ziploc bags, phone charger in a Ziploc bag, shelf-stable snacks, a flashlight. Fill the water bottle. That bag is by the front door, not in a closet, not upstairs, right by the door you're leaving through. Then I take another bigger or anything bigger and bulkier than I might need. Tools, tent, cot, sleeping bag, extra water containers, ice chest. I preload those into my vehicle while the weather's still calm. Why? Because when the situation accelerates, you're not making two trips. You're not digging through the garage in the dark. You grab the bag. You're in the vehicle. You're moving. The difference between staging and scattered is measured in seconds. And in a flash flood scenario, those seconds decide whether you get out or you're trapped. Think about your setup right now. If you had to leave in 5 minutes, what would slow you down? That's what you fix today. But staging your gear only works if you never put yourself in the one situation where even the best prep won't save you. I see people driving through standing water like they're on their way to get coffee on a Tuesday morning. Like the laws of physics took the day off. And that's not just dumb. It's the single most dangerous thing you can do in a flood. 6 inches of moving water can knock you off your feet. 12 inches can move a car. 2 feet of water will float most vehicles. And once your car starts floating, you're not driving anymore. You're just sitting in a metal box going wherever the current decides to take you. If I know a road floods, I don't go near it, period. If I'm in an unfamiliar area and I see water on the road, especially fast moving water, I watch what other drivers are doing. If they're avoiding it, I'm avoiding it. If nobody's crossing, there's a reason. But let's say you're already in trouble. You tried to cross. The engine died. Water's rising. You've got maybe seconds to make a decision. If the car won't move forward, if water stalled the engine, if you can see it climbing up the doors, it's time to get out. Right now. I was forced to evacuate once. The Llano River. We were camping. I woke up early and the water had changed. It wasn't the same river from the day before. It had become angry, muddy, and it was moving faster than it should have been. I could hear it well before I saw it. Not the normal sound, a roar, like traffic on a highway. Packed up, started loading the truck. Our plan was to be there for the entire weekend. The weather had other plans. The water doesn't care. That's something I'll never forget. No concern, no pity. The rain just kept coming, and so did the river. We left. Later that morning, the river jumped the banks. Search and rescue was busy for days, trying to find everyone that was unaccounted for. Some of those searches were successful, but far too many did not have happy endings. I keep a fixed blade knife in my vehicle. It's got a seatbelt cutter on one end. The handle is made for breaking car windows. Because if that water locks your doors, if the pressure makes them impossible to open, you need a way out that doesn't rely on anything electrical or mechanical. You need a tool you can grab in the dark. Stay calm. Cut the belt if you have to. Break the window at the corner where it's weakest. Get to dry ground. Don't wait. Don't think about the car. The car is already gone. Most people never get that far because they're waiting for someone else to handle it. Don't be that person. You just learned how to stay alive when water rises. Now grab your emergency kit and check it. I turned on the radio, heard flash flood warning, heard 6 to 8 inches of rain in the next few hours. That's when I started packing the truck. That was a weekend camping trip in the hill country. My family and I were there for the same reason everybody else was. Good weather, water, time outside. Then the radio changed everything. We weren't the only ones that heard it, but not everyone acted. They figured they had time. By noon, the river wasn't low anymore. By 2 p.m., you might not have known that some of the roads were even there. Some of them made it out, some didn't. What kept us alive wasn't luck. It was a $20 weather radio and the willingness to act on what it said. You can have all the gear in the world. You can know every tactic. But if you wait for someone else to decide it's time to leave, you've already made the fatal mistake. No one is going to come and knock on your door and tell you it's time to leave. So, pause for a second, right now. Look around your house or think about your car. Do you even know where your weather radio is? Do you have one? If the alert comes through in the next 10 minutes, would you hear it? because that's the difference. Hearing it and acting on it. Awareness and action. That's what saves lives in flooding. Not hoping someone else handles it. You can now be ready to walk out the door and leave in 60 seconds. That's what you just unlocked. Comment below. Where's your go bag sitting right now? I want to know, where do you have it staged? And subscribe so you're ready for what's coming next.